Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Meet the Expert on the Block. And before I do introduce my special guest, I just like to do a little bit of house cleaning and let everybody know that if you're seeing this or this Meet the Expert on the Block episode and you like what you see, please let us know by giving you some thumbs up and some hearts. We'd love to hear from you. If you would like to comment or if you have a question for our special guest, don't forget you can put it in the comments. And if it pops up on my screen, I will be sure to get the question answered while we're here. And if it's afterwards, I can definitely, if we've ended the show and if you have a question that pops up, we'll get you in touch with the special guest. And he would be more than happy to answer it for you. So those are a couple of things that I would like to do. And two, you know what? If you like what you see on this episode, I try to do this once or twice a month. And if you like it, follow my Dawn Black Realtor page, because then if it comes up, and if a new episode comes on, you'll be notified so you can join in on the fun. All right. So why do I do this? The reason I do this is because I feel that we need to support our local businesses and get the word out. So I met John. I'm not going to tell you his whole name, but I met John at an event and I found out what he did. I thought it was really interesting. And I asked him if he would be on my segment of Meet the Expert on the Block. So what I want to do is introduce my special guest, and this is John Doherty. He is with the Family Album Company, and he is what he does is I'm gonna let him tell you what he does. So, John, if you don't mind, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Well, my name is John Doherty, and I am the founder and president of the Family Album Company here in Palatine, Illinois. Dawn, thank you so much. As a small business owner, we're always looking for support, much like your small business as a realtor.
Yes.
Any chance we get to get our voice out in the public and tell them about our story and our mission, it's all good from there.
It is totally good. So we're here too because and what I like when we were talking about your business, we're going to be talking about preserving family history and doing it by digitizing and protecting your memories. And we're going to be taking a look at, John's going to discuss and tell us all about it so that and I think it's important to preserve our history and our pictures. We are so easily just, I don't know I am not one of those people that puts all of their pictures in albums. Hate to say it. I've always said I wanted to, but I haven't done it. Maybe life has just gotten too busy. Mm-hmm. And I'm one of those people that I took the pictures and it's like how you would get them developed and then you get the envelope and then you take a look at the pictures and you put them in a box. And my box is a big box and we keep on putting pictures in the box to this day. So when I heard about it, I thought that was so interesting that you kind of it's a way of organizing yourself. So I do want to. We're going to get into that, but I just want to know why did you do this? What made you want to start this business?
Well, the why is the big thing these days from Simon Sinek, and everyone should know their why. And I just happen to love history. First part of my career was in the financial world on the trading floors in Chicago. And I've always been a history buff. I've always loved it. And so like National Treasure movies, I love them. And so I had an opportunity to go work a friend of mine at a digital agency and it worked with some amazing, amazing projects. So I've managed projects doing 15th and 16th century maps. I built the Wrigley Family Archive. I've worked with Oprah's photographers. I did the history of Billy Graham in pictures, and actually I digitized all his speeches myself. So I was involved in a lot of really neat projects with very demanding clientele, as you might imagine. And I wanted to bring that level of care and concern about your archive to families, because I think all of our history is important, not just the rich and fabulous. I really think everyone's history is important, and we are losing it to the digital age.
Yes, we are. So you have a process that you do. Let's talk about how you go about and what you do when somebody calls you and says, "Okay, John, I want to use your business to digitize. I have a bunch of pictures here. I have all sorts of movies on VHS. I have my pictures, and I need organization, and I want it all put together. Can you do this for me?" What happens next?
It starts with a nice long phone call. But the first step is always the tapes. Um, because they're in a box, most of them are labeled,
Okay.
and they're just easy to get to and to get the process rolling. And once people start to process, everything starts flowing. As soon as they see some videos, I'll send them some samples. They're like, "Oh my God, I got to get this done." And then the floodgates open and the boxes start coming out of storage and from the attic, from the basement. I have to go through this stuff. So once frequently, if they know what they really want, I'll pick up the tapes and I'll drop off photo boxes. So photo boxes, basically the size of a shoebox, about 11 inches long, and it's about 1,100 photos. So you
Oh,
can sit
wow.
there and with your box, maybe a glass of wine, and listening to The Voice on TV, and you just go through pictures because we all have those Walgreens envelopes or the 1 hour photo guys.
Oh, yes.
And you throw some in the garbage. You keep the ones you want, and then you're
And
off
you
to the
always
races.
have those like three of the same photos, or it's like you
The
keep on
backlit,
taking a picture of it. It's like, oh my God, I got five of the same photo. I only need one of those. So
right, right, yeah, or the backlighting. You don't see any faces, and
yeah,
you
that's
know,
right. So it's just a clean out. That's what you're doing. You're just basically taking the time to clean out and only put those pictures that are not a double or anything. They're just
yeah,
ready to be
hmm
put in
yeah.
digital format.
And if a few
Mhm.
slip through, I usually catch the doubles pretty easily. So I'll delete
Okay.
those myself if I see them. But my scanners also catch the backside of pictures. So if people have written on the backside who's in the photo or the year,
Oh,
that will
wow.
also be captured and they'll be married in the naming convention. So they'll always be together.
Oh, that's neat. Because a lot of people, well, I mean, people may still do it now, maybe not so much, but if you're looking at like grandmother's pictures or your mom and dad's pictures, I know that they wrote like you said, the date, or this is
Yeah.
Aunt Susie and Uncle Bill, and it's 1965 or something like that. So, yeah, that's neat that you can bring that up for everybody to keep that as part of that memory
And
too.
there's so much interest in genealogy now.
Oh, yeah.
Adding pictures to your history is just makes it over the top awesome. And then you also have, your videos and pictures in a archive are just spectacular.
Oh, they are. They are. Yeah. And I mean, and it's neat to see now that you're putting pictures and videos together, and we're gonna dive into that too, because first I was gonna ask you like the time for pickup and delivery. When by the time you organize all these pictures and videos, you said the videos are easier, but the pictures, how long of a process does it take to put all of that digitize on I think what is it, like a thumb disk you get?
OneDrive, yeah.
The drive.
Um, Obviously, depending on the size of the job, but I just did 50 tapes in about 10 days.
Oh,
Uh,
wow, okay.
Photos, depending if they're really well organized, they go really fast. They actually will go faster than the videotapes. So
Do you do the well, if
I do
somebody's not
everything.
very organized and they say, "Can you do it? Can you just do it?"
Yeah, that
Then
might take
you
a little bit longer as long as there's stuff on the back of the pictures.
okay.
And we're going to show some samples of a job I just did that I separated and archived by decades for a family. And
Wow.
we went back to the 1890s. So as long as I have some clues, and once you're in an archive, you really start recognizing people. Like
Okay.
even when they're babies and as they're growing up, you know how old they are. Like in pictures, you can figure it out.
You
Uh,
start feeling like a family member after you're going through. It's like, well, I know
Absolutely,
you, and I know this one.
yeah,
You've got the whole family by the time you're done with the job.
right. I had a client say, "You know my family better than I do." I
Yeah,
really
and
do.
it's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have a question, and I'm sure you'll be able to, well, you should be able to answer this. So have you ever come up with a job that really stood out to you, that maybe touched you in a way that, because
Mhm.
you see a lot of stuff. I'm not going to ask, I don't know what you see all. I don't want to know the weird stuff. I
Yeah.
just, something that really touched you when you were going through pictures. And I do
Um,
believe, do we have that right here, don't
yeah,
we?
yeah. We have a couple
Okay.
pictures that I wanted to share.
Okay. So,
That family I did, the family in decades, was Holocaust survivors, and the family goes back to Germany, and these are postcards from World War One
oh
from
wait,
the
let me go
front.
back. Yeah.
So I had a friend of mine in Germany translate these, and you can see the circles show the
The mail
military
dates?
postal service that
Oh
was used to
wow.
send them. And this is the guy's regiment, or whatever you would call that team. But it's letters back home to mom saying, he was frightened. He didn't know what was coming at him. And he missed everyone dearly, was not sure when he'd be able to write again. Doesn't know
Wow.
when you were going to be receiving this, but he just wanted to write home before the fighting started. And this is a picture of the unit. And then the next picture is actually,
Here, let me get to that one. Andre says, wow, that's cool. So we
yeah,
got,
yeah,
thanks,
Andre, it
Andre,
was
for
really
adding that.
neat. And then the next photo is actually they were building
Wow.
the tunnels and the trenches in World War One when they just had that standoff in the Alsace-Lorraine area, I think it was, um, where it was just they just stayed in these trenches for forever fighting each other. So
Oh my
uh,
God.
really interesting, really cool. It just goes to show whichever side of the war you're on, everyone has soldiers always write home to mom and say they're scared and they miss them.
Oh my God. So, yeah, I mean, so you're going through all these pictures. I mean, obviously, aren't you like just, don't you get full of emotion sometimes when you're looking at some of these pictures?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You go through a lot of pictures that are kind of silly and you don't know what's going on and they're very stoic, and then you get these things and it
Yes,
kind of reinforces my mission in that these people did not know this history was there. They just
exactly.
they just gave me bins and said figure it out, and they were really moved by this, just knowing that their family was involved in this. And then, of course, World War II came, and they had a few years of no memories or anything, but they did survive, and they came to America.
Wow. And like you said, you do history, but you do like a lineage of families from way back, just bringing
Yeah.
all this back up, and to seeing like letters written and things like that. That's got to be emotional for people to see.
Hmm.
But you have also another picture here. Oh, do we have it here?
Yeah.
Yes. And this is the work that you do, like a before and after of preserving the memory of somebody. And from what I see on the left hand side, the picture itself looks like it was torn or bent or something like that. Why
Yeah,
don't
I
you
think.
tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I think this was a case where the picture was folded and stuck to itself, and then someone just
Mm,
opened it and ripped the picture. So I was able to use AI software to really try to bring this back as much as I could. Even some of the lines on his face, on what would be his right side, our left side, by his mouth. There's some white lines through there,
yeah.
and obviously his hairline. But this was a friend of mine's father, and this was from Vietnam.
Oh my
And
gosh.
now they did a print of this, and it's hanging up in their home. And that's really the cool thing. Once you digitize these pictures, you can do so much with them. You can do canvases, you can do prints, you can do whatever you want, and they're just absolutely beautiful.
Well, you've done it. I mean, this is like nothing ever happened to it. The one after you take a look at what you've done, and And Chris Black said it's incredible. So it is incredible what you
Yeah.
do. I mean, this is something that you're bringing back memories and feelings too. When you think about it, when you see these pictures, it brings back so many feelings of what brings you back. It brings you back home, so to speak. It
Yeah.
might be now, but it just brings your thought process back to where you were and the memories you have. And we got
Yeah.
Carolyn Litton. She says, hi, John and Dawn. Hi, Carolyn. Thank you
Hi,
for
Carolyn.
joining the show. And she also says, awesome job restoring that. It looks beautiful. And it is beautiful.
And the next picture is for the romantics out there.
Oh.
This was a friend of mine's, a client's grandmother's engagement photo. And you can see, Carolyn, I think it said 1925 on the bottom.
Yes.
And they were really mad that someone wrote in magic marker on their picture. So I was able to remove that. And then I kind of enhanced the photo so it looks a little sharper. And that's what came up. So now this is also hanging in another one of my clients' homes in memory of their grandmothers. Everyone does the engagement photo shoots now. I have 2 daughters who are married, and of course that's critical. So this is a precursor to nowadays.
This is, I mean, and two, just look at the you could tell like everything is so defined on the after picture. The couple even pops out more. You can even see, they pop out, they're like, and they're the focal point anyway, because they're the engaged couple. And it looks so, lifelike and beautiful. It really does.
Most old, I'd say pictures from before 1980s, all had kind of like this, almost like a film on it. It's felt like a lot of them look like the photo on the left. And my software just restores everything to like the picture was taken this year.
It's amazing. Fantastic. Carolyn says fantastic, which it is. It is definitely fantastic. So, and then I think, what do we have next? We're going to be talking about, I know we have some. Oh, this is our filing system, right?
Yes, a client gave me a box of videotapes. Those on the left, the little camcorder tapes. They never even got to the VHS stage. So they just give me bins. So I'll be taking those photos out. I'll take the photos out, scan them. Some of them they want to put back in. And then they gave me a kind of a duffel bag there on the chair that has Grandma and Grandpa's wedding album and their wedding album from like the late 80s, early 90s. That we never got our, you got the album, but you didn't get anything else. You never got negatives. You never got the actual pictures. So
I think what did I get? I got an album, and then you know how they give you those the different booklets, and you can pick out what you want, so that your family can order it. And I think I still have. They gave us those, so I got pictures all over the place. So yeah,
those
are a lot of stuff.
So when I do a wedding album, I do it so I crop each picture. So you don't get a page with all the fancy gold lame, like the gold trim, or 4 pictures, because I noticed that when you do it digitally and you want to look at it on your phone or one of these picture frames nowadays, like a skylight frame.
Oh yeah, yes.
You can't see them because 3 pictures on a page. So I've decided that I won't do wedding albums like that anymore. I actually crop the picture. So even if the picture is a couple like far away in the trees, I'll bring it forward. And they're really cool. They're beautiful. They're better than the originals.
Are they? It's amazing what you do. And too, it's like you look at all of those pictures that you in different boxes and everything. They just kind of put it all together. And then here you have it in this neatly organized boxes where people can kind of go to and then just get the digitalized portion of it so that they can have everything so together,
So I will also label, like the block archive. There'll be a nice label on there, and box 1 of 3, box 2 of 3, box 3 of 3. So you know what you have when you do. Some people want to save it, some people don't, but that's entirely up to the client. A lot of people say, I'll just throw it out. and then I show them like the box. They're like, oh, I think I'm going to keep them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Do you, and then too, when they get the disc,
yeah.
You have it very organized for them to
Mhm.
go through and look at all the pictures. Explain what we have here.
So these are I grouped these photos into smaller albums or files so you could actually see them easier for this client. And then I did some um, small. It's like this couple met in college, so that was all their college photos. I have their documents in there. I have some people I just don't know where to put stuff. It's just miscellaneous. But then there's the movies, and I have people give me photo albums. So when you push that the thumb drive into your computer, um, this will pop up, and then you just click on the file, and it's there for you. So if you click on the movies, we have a little clip of what the movies look like. The movies, actually, when they're digital, they really look amazing. The sound is great, unless, of course, there's some damage, and tapes are decaying. So I think it's every 20 years, they decay about 10 to 20%. So
Okay.
those of us who grew up in the 80s and 90s, the time's coming. Our kids are in their 30s now that it's like, oh, those tapes are decaying. I see we do have a question from Andre.
Yes, he's Andre. Let's pop that up there. I know that everyone is different, but what you say, what is the average turn time on this?
So kind of my rule of thumb is 50 tapes will take about 10 to 14 days. Photographs, it all depends on how well they're arranged or how much you want me to do to them. I do basically have one price for photos, and that includes color and basic color enhancements. So like I said, those older photos, they do become clear, and I don't charge people for that. I mean, that's the way an archive should look. So that's what you're getting. And so it goes pretty fast. I know there's some people ship their tapes, which I would never do. And they can be like 3-4 months out before you get your stuff back. So no, I turn it around very fast. To be honest with you, I would rather have it out of my hands and back into you as fast as possible.
Now, you did mention when we were talking earlier, John, you had mentioned it's not like you put it in the mail. You do all of your pickups and deliveries too, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's kind of my customer journey. I talk with everyone. We set up a time that I can come over and pick up the stuff myself. I'll kind of inventory it and say, okay, this is what you're giving me. Take it back, work on it, and everything will be returned to you. I know some services keep your stuff, which I think is just crazy. But everything will turn back to you in the proper file boxes and storage system of any archive you could see in a library.
That's really nice. And Chris Black says, "What an awesome service!" And it
Thanks,
is an
Chris.
awesome service. Yes, it really is. And thank you, Andre, for asking your question. But we want to look at. I want to bring up the video because we do have a sample of the video. Let me bring that up for you. And this is what you'd see.
Where are you going all dressed up?
And go ahead, you explain it, John.
This is just one of my clients.
You are. Where's Renee?
Little guy's going out trick or treating. I thought it was an appropriate
She's
clip
sleeping
to
right
show
now.
this time
What
of year.
are you? Who?
But,
What's his name?
We just always
From
remember
what-
this with our
From
kids.
what movie?
Or don't remember it, and then you're like, oh yeah, that was a blast.
Are you gonna try and fly with those
events
wings?
we had in their lives that are just fun, or even just the events we did as parents that was just a lot of fun, and we forget.
Get a lot of candy.
So this is what you would see on your TV, on your computer, on your phone,
Later.
however you choose to view it. And
It's very crisp.
Quality is great.
Yes.
Kind of better than the actual tape itself, to be honest with you. The digitization process really sharpens things up. The sound is great. So I just thought I'd choose this one, and I think the next clip is just
3.5
playing
years
in the
old.
leaves, right?
Renee's
Yeah, I
3.5
think that,
months.
yeah, we were talking
She's in the
about
house
that.
right now sleeping.
Back
but
in the
she's a
day,
pumpkin.
do you
We'll show
remember
her
in this
later.
next clip, remember how many leaves you would have to play with? I don't think I've seen leaves like that for a long time. I look at it, kids are buried in them, but again, you get such clarity and color in the videos that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Hey, Renee, where are you?
Oh,
Huh? In Aunt Terry's arms, that's where you
You
are.
know,
Huh?
we all have these tapes and we forget about them.
we do,
Preston's getting
yes.
buried by
Fun
leaves.
to watch them again,
Christopher and
have
Jeff.
especially in the winter nights. Just pop that in.
These aren't even, this isn't even my family. And I'm like, oh, does that look cute? I mean, it's like, wow, just brings all these, you get all these like nice homey feelings when you see home videos like that.
Where'd everybody go?
And then Carol says that's important. These pictures are priceless pieces,
Careful.
which they are. You don't want to, and that's what I think so great about the fact that you're not just putting them in, we're not just giving it to the U.S. Postal Service to hope that we get them back, So I thought that was really great. It really does bring a lot of, when you look back at all that, and it's important. I think it's important to preserve, like you said, these memories so that we can show them to our kids and our grandchildren and so on.
Right.
So really is a very good service. Very good service.
Thank you.
Yes. So, and I think that's pretty much, we don't have any out. I think I've shown everything that I'm supposed to be showing.
Yes, you have.
So,
but I keep posting, I post things on Instagram. I will do projects and some pictures of stuff I'm doing at the time. I got to work on some videos of watching me actually do the process, which is interesting. So people can follow me on Instagram. They can follow me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. It's all the Family Album Company. And I love to get more followers, obviously, and get the word out because I really, people talk about, well, how much is it? Stuff like that. I'm like, well, camcorders were really expensive back in the day. VCRs were expensive, and now we're not watching them.
Yes, you're right.
I urge everyone to get their stuff digitized. Memories are important to us. They're very important to us.
So Chris did have a question. So what is the average cost?
So a group of videotapes, usually over 5, I will do for $25 a piece. And pictures are 25 cents. And that's really, albums get a little trickier because if I'm taking them out of albums, I have to charge for that. So it could be 40 cents a picture if I'm ripping apart albums.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put stuff back in albums, but I do scrapbooks. I do my scanner's available to do full page scrapbooks. So it really depends on each job, but those are the benchmarks. Everyone wants to know how much does a VHS tape cost? How much does a picture cost? And those are them. And I capture all my photos at 300 DPI, which is the archival standard. If you price things out, make sure you're getting that level, that 300 DPI. You don't want to go any lower. You can barely see them on your phone then. The picture really degrades. And the videos are pretty standard. Everyone kind of uses the same equipment. And they all come out really well, except if the tape has a little damage to it. But I can repair tapes too. I get some tapes that are torn. There's no tape, so I got to fish it out. But that's all part of the service. My job is to get you your memories back intact and to be able to enjoy them.
Yeah. Well, I've got another comment here. Okay. Andre says, excellent work. I will be digging through my mother's photo collection this weekend. So there you go.
All right, Andre. Yeah. I can't wait to hear from you.
Yes. So, but I want to thank you so much, John, for coming on and showing everybody how we can save our memories and digitize them so we can have them for a good long time and even be able to show our families the photos and memories that we brought up, and too with showing the fact that you had the history. There are some pictures that can go way back. They can bring up a lot of history that we never even knew about our families. So it's amazing that all of that information can just, and it too, by looking at all of this, you can bring up feelings and memory, in yourself about what you're seeing, with sharing with your families, everything. So
Yeah, especially if you could pop these in during the holidays. Side splitting humor. I mean,
oh yeah, those family movies and things like this is that's why I think this is like an awesome way. It'd be an awesome gift for Christmas for your parents. Just digitize everything for them. So, but I think this was great. I want to thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna check. I think I do have one more. I wanted to keep on checking here. What do I got here? Great information for saving family history. Susie Whipple, thank you very much for joining us on this. Yes, thank you.
Thanks again, Dawn, for all you do for small businesses. This is a great platform for us to do.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I enjoy doing this. I think, it's so interesting seeing what every business does, how they do it, what got them so motivated. And I just, with you showing some of the pictures that you have shown us, I think that just is an amazing, it's amazing to see all that. So
great. I hope I made a difference. I hope people do it.
I think so. We've got Carolyn Linton saying, thank you both. Thank you, Carolyn, for joining us. And I have Chris Black saying, great idea and thank you. So I want to thank everybody who has joined us on this show. Like I said, if you like what you see, follow Dawn Black Realtor so that you can see many, many more businesses come on and we can support them in this way. So, John, if you wouldn't mind, I would love to have you just let everybody know how they can get in touch with you and learn a little bit more about if they have any questions that they can, call you, talk to you, and get in touch with you.
As you can see, it's scrolling across the bottom.
I know.
Number is 847-951-8220. I'm the only one who answers it, so you talk directly with me. And follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and my website is thefamilyalbum.co.
C-O, not C-O-M.
Nope, no M. That M's expensive.
No M. Oh. Well, thanks again, John, for joining up, for being my host. And I want to thank everybody who has come on and shared their comments and questions. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully you'll join me next month for my next guest. Until then, everybody make it a great evening. Thanks again for joining. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks.